Are 2-3 glasses of wine per night too much? I'm 37 years old and have 2-3 glasses of red wine almost every night to relax before bed while I read or watch TV. Usually it's over 2 or 3 hours. Is this too much? A friend recently told me he thinks that's alcoholism. I'm also not dependent. I skip some nights if I'm tired or want to go to the gym at night. I usually go in the morning. Had a surgery back in January and didn't drink for 2 months and had no issue quitting. I also didn't feel any different. Not better or anything or any worse. I guess I just never thought much of it because I don't ever get drunk. It's been at least 5 years since I've gotten drunk. If I meet friends for drinks I keep it to 1 or 2 because I have to drive. I guess I just want to know if people think this sounds like too much. You don't need to be an alcoholic to have issues with alcohol. There's a lot of gray area in between. Try this. Lay out 21 glasses on your countertop. That's how much you drink a week. Does it seem like a lot to you? Or keep the bottles and after a month put them all on the counter. Sometimes seeing the actual volume of alcohol is eye-opening. It's a harmful habit. You're getting buzzed to decompress instead of allowing your mind and body to do it naturally. It can lead to alcoholism pretty quickly if you're not watching it. Source did the same during a very stressful job years ago. When I had unusually harsh days, those 2-3 glasses of wine wouldn't cut it. You're basically building alcohol tolerance so it becomes no use to you when you really do need to blunt the edge. I'd suggest picking up running. Which is what I did. A great ass and I could get hammered on 3 glasses of wine. You betcha. No one has asked the most important question: how big is your glass? So my question is, how long does it take you to drink a standard-sized bottle of wine? I can fit a whole bottle in 2-3 of my wine glasses. If you're drinking a bottle a night, you got problems. If you're having small pours and a bottle lasts 5 days, that's not very much. The whole nightcap thing is a myth. If you are using wine to help you sleep, that is dependency. Alcohol affects your REM sleep cycle, and that will lead to some long-term effects like dementia. Check out Matthew Walker. He's a brain doctor and explains very well what you are doing to your brain by consuming alcohol every night before bed. If you have to ask if you're drinking too much, you probably think you may bridge drinking too much. Asking yourself is a good start. It sounds like too much to me. From a health point of view, there is no healthy minimum for alcohol, and wine is not beneficial for your health in the way it has often been portrayed. I drink a good bit myself and have had it exacerbate health issues. So I've had to learn the hard way to cut it out. My advice would be to at least try to cut it back to 1 a night and savor it. Alcoholism is about patterns of use more than quantity. If you don't feel like you need to drink every night, if you don't have trouble stopping after you've started, if you don't have withdrawals or irritability if you don't drink, you are probably not an alcoholic. However, the amount you're drinking is more than the maximum recommended by doctors. So it could have long-term effects on your health. And drinking regularly for long periods of time can lead to dependence. Next time you go for a physical, ask your doctor about your liver function. If it's normal and has been for years, it's probably fine. If your numbers are abnormal or they've been trending downward, you might want to ease back or stop altogether. Try relaxing with caffeine-free tea instead. Ask yourself what about the wine helps you relax, as you put it. See if you can go 1 week with none, then 1 week as usual, and see if there's a big difference in your mood, or how you would rate your quality of life. More than anything, this is a question you'll have answer yourself, as you know yourself best. Per night sounds questionable to me. After all, it is routine, even if you can skip a night or two. As example, the guys in my class who smoke weed regularly a few times each week up to daily all say I can quit any time but never bother to do so. Considering that we're on a vocational school and becoming electrical technicians, that would be the way to go though. And they most definitely cannot quit easily, even if they believe it, because they've made it routine for some years. Ask your physician. I'd cut down a bit. It's a lot of empty calories. It's messing with a good night's sleep, and it just gets expensive. Are you hungover in the morning? Are you spending more than you can afford on it? Is it interfering with your work or doing chores or getting errands done? Have you seen a doctor recently? Been honest with them about your drinking habits, and had them tell you to cut back? Yes. Also, if you're using alcohol as a tool, that's habit forming and unhealthy. To relax, I drink socially but hyper aware of not using it to numb or counteract negative emotions. Grew up with an alcoholic parent. New official health advice in Norway recommend no zero use of alcohol. It has no positive effects when it comes to physical health. And as some have commented, you are pushing away mental issues that are just being suppressed or postponed. Yes, I do drink sometimes. It would be better to keep it to one or less. Although there are definitely cultures where 2 is within the cultural norm. The recommended amount is 1 standard drink per day for women and 2 for men. For wine, 1 standard drink would be 5.6 ounces. It's up to you to decide what amount of drinking is over your limit. My dad is an alcoholic, so his is 0. I rarely drink, so when I do, I'll usually have a few. A few glasses of wine per night is hardly enough to count as addiction. But if you're using it to cope or things like that, you might find your healthy limit to be lower. It's too much if you are having that every day. From a health perspective, it can increase your risk of developing certain conditions such as cancer, liver disease, chronic pancreatitis, stroke, high blood pressure, heart muscle issues, sleep disorders, and etc. Mayo Clinic recommends up to 1 glass a day for women. It's definitely poison, but the Mediterranean people have been doing it for literally thousands of years. Greece, Italy, and Spain have some of the longest lifespans on the planet. Much of that has to do with diet and active lifestyles. But people still booze pretty hard in the wine belt of Europe. Drinking 3 glasses a night and eating a bunch of burgers and fried food isn't good. Yes, 2-3 glasses on one night every 4 nights is fine. I don't know where you are from, but I would assume from the US. I would say it depends on the point of view. I am from Portugal and we have an habit of drinking wine regularly. As an example, my parents drink wine at lunch and night. I would say around 4 glasses of wine. Maybe even more. Does that make them alcoholics? No. If it did, then all south of Europe is a bunch of alcoholics. I'm guessing you are in the USA. So you folk all have a weird relationship to alcohol compared to myself and most Europeans. 2-3 glasses of wine, not every day. Over several hours. You have zero issue stopping for long periods. You sound like most folk in Europe. It is not affecting your life negatively. Only stop if you feel it's causing problems in your life, not because someone else is judging you and making you feel shame. Now, of course, if you feel it's a problem and wanna stop, cut down, do it. but do it for you, not someone else.